And welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is currently eating raw hamburger. It's Norbert Morvan.
I mean, what was I supposed to do? It was just sitting there next to the utilidor.
I love the Creole Bayou accent of Ben Foster's The Stranger in 30 Days a Night. I love it.
I have been trying to figure out for years, and it's just struck me the other day when I was watching this movie again that, oh yeah, I'm from the Bayou. That was great, man. That was great.
Oh, perfect.
You don't have what I want to eat. You don't have what I want to drink.
And I love when he bows up on Josh Hartnett, but Josh Hartnett's got about two heads on him.
I would like to see you try.
Yeah.
You know, he probably figured that his incredibly hostile oral hygiene smell would have just killed him because he was just all in his mouth with that. His teeth are the color of the asphalt, man. It was unbelievable.
So as you know, I basically do all the research I can on this, and I listen to all the behind-the-scenes docs on this Blu-ray. I listen to the commentary, and in this, they said that Ben Foster would take... So in the beginning scene, when we open up in the film, it's a beautiful shot, really color-corrected, really layered, worked a lot in post, but just looks really haunting and isolated and beautiful. When he's walking in the snow, they were in New Zealand for that. They went up to the mountains of New Zealand around May, and they found some snow that was left, and they shot, because Alaska would have been too expensive. But what he did was, Ben Foster took snowballs, shoved it into his underwear, so he would look cold when he was walking. Even when he was 100 yards away, he had snowballs in his underwear. And
you know what? He's went method, man. That's awesome.
And then when Josh Hartnett's Eben character is just tossing him around like a rag doll, he put a toe clamp on his foot that apparently was extremely painful, so that he wasn't faking the pain when Hartnett was tossing him around like a beach ball.
You know what? Now there's method and then there's mad, and that is it. Because those clamps are unbelievably painful. They're really tight.
Have you ever just gotten a clothespin, just getting a little inch of your skin on your tricep, and you just start screaming? You're like, oh my God!
Dude, just that what little meat you have hanging off there, you know? Or do you know what actually the worst minor pain is? A splinter.
Oh gosh, I hate splinters.
Unbelievable. And then you got to use fire and a hot paper clip to dig it out. You're just like, oh God, why?
Do you think if there's a sequel to this and he comes back for some reason, which he wouldn't, but a prequel in the Bayou, and he's a lumberjack, do you think he would put splinters into his hands to get into character? Or is that too much?
He would probably be like, I wanted to talk to them, but I had a splinter in my toe. I cannot believe that they did not turn me into a vampire because of my dirty, dirty mouth.
These Nosferatu, as we call them. I guess the one... I want to see what you think about this, Norbert, and because you recommended this movie to me. But what I like about this film is that these vampires, they're mean. They're... so I'm thinking I had the comic book originally. I've read it years ago, and I just read up on it again. It doesn't quite say where they're from, but it seems like they maybe took a boat over from Russia?
I get the vibe that they're definitely the Eastern European dudes who couldn't make it as Taken gangsters. That one night when they were out bemoaning the fact that they couldn't be Taken gangsters, they're drinking potato vodka, and then they just happen upon, and then they get bit.
Marlowe.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I was just watching Only Lovers Left Alive, the Jim Jarmusch vampire movie with Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton. It's beautiful. I love that movie.
It sounds nice.
Words can't even explain how much I love it. It's so stylish and cool. And Tom Hiddleston's pouting it's just so natural on him. But in that movie, Christopher Marlowe is a vampire, and then in this movie, the head vampire is Marlowe. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that's a popular name for vampires. But I dig it. But when we watch this movie, these vampires, they just kill. Like they're not cheeky. They just want to murder, right? They're
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. These guys are the last good vampire movie before Twilight came out and ruined everything. These guys, like you call them Nosferatu, because they definitely look like the Nosferatu from that 1920s, 30s movie. And they're monsters, man. They definitely will pull the wings off of flies. They dig torture.
Mm-hmm.
They killed my grandma. I mean, who does that? They're turning children into vampires. They don't give a damn about anything but the blood.
Yeah, they just I like them. They're stylish. They have nice clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just, I gotta tell you, that opening attack. So when I was watching this in '07, I just remember thinking to myself, that overhead shot, going, this is not a trash. So I didn't know what to think about it when I first watched it. I had never read the graphic novel, but watching what David Slade did with this movie on a $30 million budget, but that overhead shot during the attack of the town, that's,
oh man, yeah,
that's a brilliant scene because it just shows the carnage.
And the fact that there's not just like 3 or 10, there's like a million of these things. And when it's robot fighting time, they are ready to get down to the nuts and bolts, man. Yeah. I mean, they're jumping out of windows. One guy manages to get a shot off. You see like 5 black dots just start to swarm him. There's somebody getting their neck ripped open on a roof. It is insane. Yeah, man, definitely. It's probably all digital too, which is where you get the 30 million in there, because there's not, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of little CGI, extra blood spurting, the burned face type of thing. But that overhead shot, they probably really just rendered the hell out of that. And it looks real.
Yeah. And so it's super. So they filmed this movie in New Zealand. And I know about that scene. So Rob Tappert, the guy who did, and Sam Raimi, they have Ghost House Pictures. And they produced this. And they went to New Zealand to shoot it because anywhere else would have been too expensive. You can't shoot in the snow, man. That's the Revenant crap, and that movie's insanely expensive. So they went to New Zealand, they built it, they used Epsom salt on the ground, they used bubbles for certain scenes, and then they also used paper for a lot of the snow in this. And
paper?
Yeah, so the big thing back in the day used to be, and I listened to the AVP commentary where people used to love using potatoes because it looked the best. But the problem is the potatoes, once they got on the ground for too long, you had mashed potatoes. So
they get wet.
Yeah, so they started looking for different substitutes. They couldn't find one, so they mixed up 3 different types. So when you watch this movie, you'll see a combination of Epsom salt, kind of bubbles, and then paper. Paper looks great, but you can't use it in all situations because it's not sticky and it looks fake. But then bubbles look fake too. So it's like it's a tough quandary. I mean, you watch these Christmas movies that they have on Hallmark, and they just throw like sheets on the ground of white, and they're like, it's good enough, whatever. But no, I love the fake snow in this. And what they did was, so they went to New Zealand, and they actually shot six weeks of nights, which is insane.
That is insane.
They took over an old abandoned factory, so they didn't have to pay a lot of money for the rental of that. That saved them a lot of money. What cost them the most was Weta.
The special effects.
Yeah, and Rob Tappert was funny in the commentary. He's like, listen, Weta's amazing, but you get what you pay for. So I guess he was not happy about it, but he also admitted that the special effects look solid and the color grading, color correction, stuff like that. So he was not, and he was also kind of annoyed. I don't know if you know this, but David Slade turned down reshoots for this. So they could have gone back for a couple weeks and laser focused on some things, but Slade didn't want to do it. He said it was fine.
I watched this movie and there's nothing wrong with it. Roger Ebert, on his site, when he was still alive, he reviewed this, and he says that there's a plot hole in that sometimes the vampires are turbo fast and then other times they're not. But I really disagree with that, man. Everything comes together here, The reason why sometimes the vampires are crazy fast and crazy strong and other times they're not is because, like you said, they like to torture. They want to mess with you. They don't just want to rip your neck open. You see that one trap that they set where the girl's walking down the street? Help, help. And they're hanging out on the rooftops waiting to see who comes out so that they can eat them too. These guys are sick, man. They don't give a damn. They want to play with their food. And these are the guys that when they were the Eastern European taken gangsters, they would probably break the arms of the guy who they were supposed to be doing their money laundering with, and then stand there and tilt their eyes to the side and be like, Octo. They're like, dude, we're not vampires yet, but it doesn't matter, They were children. They ripped the wings off of dragonflies and drop it into a nest of ants to see what would happen. These are sick people.
And there's a line in this where Marlowe says only hunger and pain. when they're going in to kill the wife and husband and wife, and he shoots him, and he's like, whatever. But he says only hunger and pain. So are we assuming that that's what the guy's gonna? Is that what these vampires feel? Are they always in pain? Is there a hunger? Like what is
my main problem with the Twilight movies is that they kept making being a vampire a beautiful and wonderful thing. That if you go into the raspberry field and the rainbows and sparkles, no. Up to now, up until that point, every vampire movie was always like, yeah, I've been alive for 600 years and now it's just boring and I kind of wish I was dead. And oh, by the way, I can't eat steak anymore. And I used to love like Swedish fish and now-laters, but now all I can eat is blood, and it sucks. That's the thing, man, about being a vampire. You get to live forever, but you're a monster, dude. You're not human.
Only hunger and pain.
Only hunger and pain. That's it, man. So that's another thing. When you take crazy Eastern European taken gangsters who like to torture dragonflies and drop them into ant piles to see what would happen, and then you give them immortality and incredibly long fingernails and shark teeth, yeah, this is what you get.
Their teeth are so mean. I love the teeth on these creatures. They, I guess for me, these are the way I like my vampires. So as much as I dig From Dusk Till Dawn, those vampires, they just get destroyed at the end. I don't really like the swooning vampires of Interview with the Vampire or the Twilight series. I like Colin Farrell's Jerry a lot. I like Jerry from Fright Night as well. But
incredible movie.
I just love, I don't know, these things. Like, so in the comic, they weren't supposed to go there. So these Nosferatu were a graphic novel. They were figured out, and then they were killed off, and they eventually go there. But then this main guy who's not in this movie goes down to stop Marlowe. It doesn't work out. They attack the town. There isn't the whole Eben Stella conflict. But I like that there's no backstories with these ones either. They just, it seems like they were out partying one night and they just heard about this town and then they stole a boat and went there. Right? Like,
I'm telling you. It's either that or Ben Foster. They ran into him in New Orleans one night when they were out partying. It's like, Santa ran dirty rice. And he's like, wait, you don't have to kill me. I know a place that's really cold and dark in the night. And I will kill the dogs and take all the Nokia cell phones and burn them in a pile. Will you change me?
I just want the rest of this episode to be... I sat there with my jaw wide open just listening to...
My favorite thing, and you know what? He makes such an impression in like 20 minutes of screen time. He's like, can I have whiskey or rum? I mean, that's how you know you're an alcoholic, because if you drink whiskey, your next thought is not, I want rum. Your next thought is, okay, then I'll take beer if you don't have whiskey. That man just wants to get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's good at his job. Like those cell phones, we never see him doing that, but that seems like a day's job if he's walking.
Not only is he walking, but again, his teeth are black. So his mouth has to hurt.
Yes.
You know, have you ever had a cavity? I've had a cavity. I had cavities as a child, and my teeth are not black, and they hurt like hell. So this guy, this oral hygiene, he's walking around, and then it's also cold. So, you know, cold air hits the nerves that are clearly exposed in his ridiculously black teeth. He's got to be thinking, I should have taken another glass of bourbon before I got old. Perhaps they don't have what I want to drink.
A Sazerac.
Yeah. Popeye's chicken is also from New Orleans.
How many beignets does he eat a day? And how does he order them?
He wants his beignet with raw hamburger.
It's just, I love it though. And I dug the color grading on him. So if you watch it again, they turned his shirt really metallic gray. They did a lot of that in the post process. I just dug that about this opening shots. And in the original cut, he just walked for 10 minutes and Slade just filmed it. And he tried to keep it in, but Tapper's like, dude, we're not opening the movie with Ben Foster walking for 10 minutes. We're not doing this. I know you love him, but we can't do it. But
he's good.
Yeah.
It starts out with all that silence, and it's creepy as hell, because you know that clearly this is a man with bad intentions.
And I like how they tell. So they don't tell you this; they show you it, and that's what I like about this movie is that the opening shot, you see that ship, you see the color grading, the dark sky, and you see him walking, and it's just a storm. It's almost like a Western. And Hartnett kept bringing that up too, where you just see this thing approaching. It's not like high noon. I mean, you're waiting for a time, but you see this thing approaching, and it's like hell. You know, it's like what that he was on a pale horse and death rode with him. So he like what Revelations, I guess. But I dug that, and also for me, this movie also does some cool things in that it sets up the characters nicely. I like the introduction to Bo, where Hartnett even just gives him a ticket. He's like, well, I want him to feel like he's part of the place. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's a character building moment. And it makes me remember the guy. And I know Stella's car gets whacked, and you're like, why would that just happen? But then you see that tractor later just destroying vampires. So you set that up because it's going back to town. You meet the big grinder earlier in the film, and then the badass bald vampire who used to be a hairdresser in New Zealand gets wiped out. Like this movie does a very good job of tying things back into each other. And
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been reading things lately where people nowadays are making these movies, and they talk about wanting to get rid of the 3-act structure. They talk about wanting to make non-traditional film. And I do think that you have to push the boundaries. I mean, look at Orson Welles with Citizen Kane and that kind of stuff. But you need the Chekhov's gun. I mean, you look at some of the best screenplays. Back to the Future, we talked about it, Galaxy Quest. Those are extremely popular because they tie themselves up, and they don't waste moments. And so when I hear sometimes about, oh yeah, I'm going to go real unconventional, I'm like, ooh, I don't know, because when you stick to, I'm not saying you have to stick to every trope, but that's what this movie does, and that's why it still holds up 13 years later.
Oh man, listen, and for what it's worth, you get Josh Hartnett, who ends up playing the blank slate that the audience can project themselves onto in a much better way than, say, Sam Worthington or Jai Courtney, you know?
Yeah.
This guy, his career should have been inside of those $700 million budget movies. But, he didn't get too many of those. He seemed to be more a small-scale film type actor, other than Sin City, in which he was also really good. Hartnett he's a good actor. And this guy, had he been played by somebody else, could have been totally vanilla. Oh, he's Eben, and he's against marijuana, even though his grandmother needs it for pot, because he's a cop, ha ha ha. You know, even that little moment right there where he finds the weed, and by the way, that's really bad weed. There was a lot of sticks in that bag. Anyway, so he finds the
Grandma's
bag.
not doing a good job, man.
Yeah, no, Grandma is smoking trash because I guess she's in Alaska. So, where are you going to grow it? Oh, she grew it in her house. That's right. That's where they get the UV lights.
Chekhov's UV light.
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's UV light, baby. Totally. So even the weed ties back into something that they use later on in the plot for Josh Hartnett to defend himself. He could have been a total just Sam Worthington in this movie, or even worse, Charlie Hunnam, where sometimes he sounds Australian, sometimes he doesn't. And it just drives me crazy. But Hartnett is a great actor, and he holds this movie together.
Yeah, he said that he turned down Superman and Batman. He just seems like a dude from he's from Minneapolis, Minnesota dude, and he just likes to hang out. But you're right, this movie, and I've been saying it for years. I really liked him in Penny Dreadful too. I love that show.
Oh my God, he played the jerk so well. Yeah, and he had a great arc too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. I love it. I do the same to you, like 40 times an episode when I get excited. But I've been saying this for a long time. There's like a sensitivity to him, not like a James Dean sensitivity, but he's a big dude who can also be kind of sensitive, but then he can also pull off action. So, I mean, the guy, like Black Hawk Down, like even the scene in The Faculty when he pulls off that thing from the paper chopper and then goes after Stewart, he just seems like a dude who can pull off action. And I liked his size in this. When he gets into that swing set fight with the guy, and it takes him 5 swipes with an axe to chop a dude's head off. That was very refreshing.
Yeah, but it was hardcore. Yeah,
but when he's up against people, when he's slamming people into a wall, you buy it. And I really, like, I can count, how many characters do you buy in movies, Norbert? Like, we watch so many movies. How many characters have you just? I'm not saying this is a revelatory performance, and I don't know why it would be. It's 30 Days a Night. And that's a really cliche thing for me to say, but it's not Oscar worthy. Well, no, it's not made to be Oscar worthy, but I bought into this character, and I think you're right. That nothing felt vanilla with him, and I like Melissa George in this too. I think he and her had a good thing going on. I liked how he's like, you're driving. Like he always had her drive. I like the dynamics between them. Yeah. And at the end, Hartnett said he never read reviews, but he said at the end when Stella, his wife, and that girl are trapped under the car, and the vampires are going to blow up the entire town. They're lighting it all on fire because of the oil pipeline. Yeah. He injects himself with vampire blood and goes out and has a fist fight. And someone in the reviews, and this was in the graphic novel, but they said that it was like a punk rock move by this character.
It was.
And
it was.
I dig that, but I bought it.
Because his motivation is set up a little earlier. The question is, why are Stella and Ebba? Why are Stella and Eben getting a divorce? Is it because Melissa George's accent wavers between Australian and Alaskan throughout the picture? Or is it because she didn't want to have kids and he did? They bring that up. No, I guess I understand now why you didn't want to have kids. Could you imagine? It'd be having a kid in this. So it makes sense that he still loves Stella, so he's going to do whatever it takes to get her alive. And this is probably like the last child left in Alaska. Yeah. Because we've seen it. They clearly don't give a damn, and they've eaten everything that walks. Yeah.
And they just waste it too.
It makes sense. Yeah, totally.
They just rip into those throats. And I totally forgot to say something earlier, but the overhead shot, they built an actual set of a couple blocks in like an old Air Force base in New Zealand. So that set was built, but the overhead shot on the right and left of it, extended. Yeah. So they had the practical, but then and this is what I love, and this is what James Cameron does, Steven Spielberg does. They build practical, and then the CGI helps they don't go, we'll just fix it. The CGI assisted the practical. And I think that's why it looks so cool.
And Jurassic Park, that CGI still holds up, and that was 94, dude.
Insane. It's just beautiful. And one thing I liked. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say there's no other 90s CGI that holds up like Jurassic Park. None.
Deep Blue Sea.
Like a shark fin. Well, that's 99. Yeah, that's 99.
I guess it's close to 2000 then.
Yeah.
No, but they and also what I liked is another thing that felt really home to me, and I'm kind of obsessed with the building of these sets. And the guy who did it, Dan Osterberry, he's the production designer. He won an Academy Award for The Shape of Things. The guy went from this to going to winning Academy Awards. So I love the production design on this, and I also like on the behind the scenes footage where when they were doing all the night shoots, they filmed everybody smiling on the first night, and then by 6 weeks, everyone just hated their lives. And like the director said, coffee is more important than film stock right now, and everyone's the kid who played Evan's brother. Yes. I guess he grew like a big nicotine caffeine addiction because of the 6 nights of night shoots. And you're just on a different planet, but I loved watching the progression of how miserable everybody was over the 6 weeks. Because the most night shoots I've ever done is 2 weeks. And by the end of those 2 weeks, Norbert, I was probably sleeping like 3 hours a night. And I was a different human, man. You'd have been talking to me and I just would have been mumbling about aliens or something. And that's 2 weeks. Imagine going another month. But I really like watching that.
Dude, humans need the sun. It's why guy in his grandma's basement typing horrible things on the internet is a terrible human being. We need the sunlight, man. It changes you. It changes you in a mental way and a physical way. Cloudy days actually do bring people down. Yeah, it's a thing. And you're talking about 2 weeks of night shoots. These people 6 weeks they wake up at night. Like, where's the damn sun? Ah! No way.
And this sounds bad, but maybe it's like a perverse type of humor. But when they were all happy the first night, in my head, I'm like, that's not going to last long.
Clearly not.
I've become that jaded to where I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is bad. But I mean, I'll go for it.
I was going to say, you mentioned his brother. And early on in the movie, when he's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, trying to hide the fact that he smokes his grandma's weed and is a champion at Risk. Did this guy strike you as a potential? He could have been in Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I totally. There is a certain type of dude, and he clearly is just, hi, I'm Jesse Eisenberg, but I'm not. Please put me in another movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They wanted him to be that.
Yeah.
And also, how many kills do you think are in this movie? I just want to ask you that real quick.
Listen to me, man. I'm going to hazard a guess, and then I hope that you come out with one of your excellent articles statistically breaking down how not only did the vampires slaughter an entire town of, say, 250 people, but they clearly did not listen to their leader's directive of do not turn them, take their heads off. Because you got a lot of these things just waking up like, wait, what happened to my leg? Oh, I'm hungry. Vampire Norbert, you know?
I'd be bummed, man. If you just had a scratch on your leg, then you became vamp. Oh man.
Now here's the thing. That is one thing that is a little unclear. A dude who was in the Matrix Revolutions, that was running the Utilidor and the Muffin Monster. That little girl, does she bite him or scratch him? Is that how he ends up turning so that he can go see his wife and children? That was a really nice moment, by the way.
Great. Like, the supporting characters are so good. I believe she scratched him.
Okay.
Because I think in this one, in the comic, scratches could turn you.
Okay. So we're doing vampire with zombie rules here, because this movie owes a lot to Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, absolutely.
It owes a lot to Night of the Living Dead. So let's make a zombie movie, except with Eastern European taken gangster vampires.
Oh, I love it. And I read a thing about them where they said that they have a shark-like teeth, and I love that explanation. But so in the series they said that it's portrayed as a virus, and it can be spread through scratches, bites, and contact with vampire blood.
Yes.
So sometimes blood does get on the characters' faces and they don't turn, but I guess it didn't get in their eyes and mouths and nose.
Yeah. It's not absorbed through the skin. Oh, and you mentioned that there weren't any sequels. Unfortunately, there were a lot of sequels to this.
So bad. I wrote a review for that, and I've since deleted it because my reviews in the last, like, when I first started writing reviews in 2010, 2011, they were horrible. But it was like Dark Days.
Oh, that's a bad movie.
Oh, it's so bad.
And it's bad because, it's not bad because it's the sequel to 30 Days a Night. It's bad because, they have the unnecessary sex scene set to, like, sexy music. They waste Harold Perrineau.
It's so bad.
LA's a dirty place, but someone's got to take out the trash. It's, whatever.
And I don't know who started this, but in these kind of films, there's a thing that really bothers me, and it's called dour narration, where it's 2056 and the zombies have won. We've been overtaken, and it's just been a real rough place for everybody, and the humans are barely holding on, and it's just a real bad. That's the narration of that movie.
Totally. This is a sequel to 30 Days a Night, and even though the first movie only cost $30 million, which is basically a drop in the bucket in Hollywood numbers, we couldn't even get that. So we got Harold Perrineau because, like, he'll do anything for a check. But the rest of the people are nobodies that you don't know. And sometimes you can see the strings on the wires when the vampires are doing, like, jumping stuff.
Oh, so bad. I like that narration.
Thank you. I went to school for that.
And this movie, it pulled in $75 million worldwide, which is that's not a bad haul if you look at a $30 million movie. And then since it's 2007, DVDs were still big, so this movie had to have made a good profit. It
doubled the budget. Mm-hmm. It doubled the budget, and Ghost House Pictures, Columbia Pictures, Dark Horse Entertainment. Dark Horse needed a win because up until then, Dark Horse movies were like Dr. Giggles, which was terrible.
Yeah, and the Boogeyman stuff like that. Yeah, they were just not. But this okay. So this movie, Roger Ebert gave it some props, but other people seem to. It didn't. It got mixed reactions from people. Why do you think that? Do you think it's the lack of humor? Do you think that it's not what they weren't expecting something so mean. I mean, this movie gets mean. Children are killed. Animals are killed. Yeah. Like, this breaks the rules. Do you think that's why it was maybe met with indifference?
The movie is gory as hell. And snarky horror movie, it is not. It's not trying to make jokes. It is saying, look, these vampires, we are their food. That's it. They're not trying to be friendly with anyone. You're going to see blood. You're going to see not only the death of children, but you're going to see children try to murder adults. And it's not like they started it, because not Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the two little kids come and they try to kill the brother in the gas station. So, we didn't start evil zombie children, but you're going to see it anyway. Mm-hmm. And I finished playing with this one, and now can I play with you? They took that from Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah.
Now I want to play with you.
I wish it said no fair as it was about to get its head cut off.
No fair, no fair. Yeah. But this, and also another thing, horror movies have always, when I was growing up, horror movies always were just, why would you watch this crap? My mother's always saying, why do you watch this crap? So horror movies don't get a chance, And Sigourney Weaver should have absolutely gotten an Oscar for Aliens, but it's a horror sci-fi action movie. That's crap. That's not art.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about this earlier, and I loved what you said. And also, I think in the 70s, horror had a great heyday with Jaws, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Rosemary's Baby, Omen. But then the 80s kick-started the slasher franchise. Now, there were very excellent action, like The Thing. There were some very good horror films in the 80s, but it also leaned towards slashers and chopping mall, stuff like that.
Right.
The 90s had some good ones, but it was also overtaken by The Scream, which then became more kid horror films. And then Freddy and Jason were petering out. And then 2000s became about the remakes. And then this nasty little vampire movie comes out. And it is just, and also too, the score by Brian Reitzell, the guy originally worked with Coppola. He worked with Sofia Coppola on Virgin Suicide, Lost in Translation. He also did Bling Ring. He did Friday Night Lights, which is one of my favorite scores. I love the score of Friday Night Lights. It's a brilliant score. This guy, if you listen, it's a lot of, what's the word? It's a lot of, there's drum heavy, there's discordant sounds. It's not the traditional soundtrack. It's a very artful, very eclectic, interesting score in it. Yeah. And you have the script based on the comic that has tons of Chekhovs that you could check off anywhere. You have an eventual Oscar winner in Paul Austerberry, who did an excellent job with the production design. You have the director David Slade, who was coming off Hard Candy, which was a good film. And he moved on to Twilight and a few other things, but he came out and he made Hannibal, which is one of my favorite TV shows and one of my favorite
That's a great show.
Filmed shows. I think it's like beautiful and sumptuous to look at. So this is and like you said, it had an excellent cast in it. And this movie, I guess my biggest problem sometimes with horror movies is people just want to say it's so bad it's good, or it was good. But I think this is a good movie.
Yeah. And all the horror movies that you even mentioned, The Thing actually failed at the box office.
Yeah.
And now it's looked at as one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Once you say horror movie, that's a genre film, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be pigeonholed into a genre film. Remember the 80s, you don't want to be in a horror film. You don't want to be on TV. You want to be a dramatic actor. So that's the thing. This movie comes out, you got Josh Hartnett, who at the time was, sexiest man alive candidate, kind of rom-com looking dude. And so he's in this movie and he turns he plays a good role. Then you got Danny Houston. Houston? Okay. The only English he speaks in the entire movie is "No God."
Yeah, that's so bleak, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And he is a terrifying villain in this movie, man. He's creepy as hell. And that's another reason why that Wolverine Origins, when he ends up playing Stryker, is just like, come on, man. You've been so much better than this with far less dialogue. Mm-hmm. For shame.
Yeah. So I've seen him in some films, and I'm like, why? You're Marlowe.
Yeah. He gets wasted in a lot of stuff. So basically, horror is a genre that has always been slept on, and it takes a lot for a horror movie to finally just break through to the mainstream and just like this movie, in my opinion, this movie should have been a $200-300 million movie.
I agree.
In terms of the money it made, because this is a great horror movie, and it hits the beats it's supposed to hit. There's nothing really surprising other than the fact that the vampires are just complete dicks. up until now, we've seen vampires, like I said, yeah, they're bored with being immortal. They drink blood. And the ones that really are into drinking blood, they're kind of sociopaths, but they're not so much into torture. I think like torture vampire was the closest thing we got to this was, like you mentioned, Interview with a Vampire. Tom Cruise, he kind of liked to play with the hookers before he drained their blood. Yeah. And kind of reveal himself. But yeah, before that, Jerry in the original Fright Night,
Suave.
he was cool, he was chill, and he was going to drink your blood. But like before that, he was going to seduce you, and you were going to hang out and drink wine. You know what I'm saying? Huh. So this is a dark, dark movie. And that's the one reason why, Ebert doesn't give it the respect it deserves. It didn't. Rest in peace.
He hated horror films, but I do like how he turned over his review to another critic from, I think, Dread Central. And he let that guy finish it out. So I think he wrote, if you're a horror fan, you will love it. And in the interest of equal time for the defense, I close with the evocative prose by the critic Tristan Sins from his 5 dagger out of 5 review on dreadcentral.com. 30 Days a Night grabs this hoary monster by the throat, pumps it full of the thick, rich blood of life, and shoves it out to greet you, eat you, and coat you in glorious mist of red firing from oh so many newly exposed arterial sprays. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Arterial spray, man. This movie is bloody. This movie is disgusting. Oh. Absolutely.
And the commentary is excellent on it too, man.
Who's top?
So it's Josh Hartnett, Melissa George, and Rob Tappert who are doing. Nice. Yeah, and I really liked it. My favorite part of it is. So, like Josh Hartnett, he's a very articulate guy, and he doesn't hold back. There's a scene where Rob, the producer's like, yeah, man, I don't know if you tell the story. He's like, no, I'm going to tell the story. He's like, I wanted a beard for the movie because you're an Alaskan sheriff. You should have a beard. And they're like, no, you don't get a beard. And he fought for it, and Rob's like, all right. But then they made him wear a fake, kind of like grow a fake. At the end, he has a little bit of a fake beard on it. He's like, so I had to wear a fake beard when I wanted to have a beard. I just thought that was kind of interesting. So he was complaining about that, but he's very articulate. And I also like Melissa George, too, where she didn't just sometimes it's just, when you listen to a lot of commentaries, you notice patterns, but she wasn't just going to let these guys talk. It's like she joined in and shared some really cool stuff. And there's a scene where she was, when they're in a car together. And what I liked, she said that Josh Hartnett and all the cast would stay there on set to read lines off. So if they have a one shot on a character talking to another character, but the other actors would stay on set to read, and they would be there for them to make the performances better. So it showed how unified everyone was. And then they had this awesome conversation, man, where on a lot of TV shows, you're shooting 24 episodes. And sorry if I'm being redundant here, if you know all this.
No, not at all.
But enjoy yourself. On TV shows, you have to fill 20 to 24 episodes that are 40 minutes long. I mean, that's a lot of work. And so these people do a ton of time on set. And to speed that up, they'll do OTS shot, over the shoulder shots, but they'll have one person stand one place, another person stand another place, and they'll do 2 cameras to film it at once. They'll just knock out. Like the point is just to knock out stuff. Go move. But the problem is when you have 2 cameras working, you kind of, the lighting, you compromise the lighting. So if you have one person in the frame, you can light them beautifully, but it just takes more time. But if you have 2 people in a shot, you can not film it quicker, but you have to compromise on some of the lighting, the positioning. If you have a great one shot, you can shoot it in the position you want. But if you have 2 people over the shoulders, you have to compromise. But I loved how Melissa. So Josh Hartnett's like, man, we should just have 2 people, 2 cameras. And Melissa's like, well, I worked on Alias, and what we noticed was when you do these shots, it compromises light. And then in this movie, the way he wanted it framed was for that, so we really couldn't do it. And they just had an in-depth discussion about shooting it as TV in the movies, and she busted this out, and Hartnett's like, yeah, you're right. So it's kind of cool. He was like bitching about it, and then Melissa George just said, no, like this is the way that it does, and this is what happens. And I don't know. I thought as a movie nerd, I dug that because they just had a discussion, and then Hartnett was like, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. It was cool.
But are you a movie nerd, or are you just a guy who is ready to put his vision upon the screen?
Yeah.
This is my question. Everything that you've been saying throughout all of these podcasts, you know clearly what composition is. You know what lighting is. You know what blocking is.
Yeah.
You know what not being a plank of wood staring at a cue card is. Why have we not had the Mark Hoffmeyer experience? I want to make a vampire movie with Mark Hoffmeyer and the wife and the other guys on the podcast, okay? And in this vampire movie, we're trying to figure out why it is that during the vampire epidemic, we cannot get a good pizza delivered to us under 30 minutes or less.
Oh, I could direct that. So what I would do is I would storyboard it first, and we don't have much of a budget. So what I would do is I would figure out the production design and wardrobe first. So every character would have a palette. I would establish the palette right off the bat. So we don't have any money, but if we have a color palette where we use we go heavy on green, yellow, gray throughout the house, we establish a common tone and already makes it look more expensive. And then what I would do was, you'd have to go through the script. If I have a script ready, you lock it down and you storyboard, lock every script down, do the scheduling, put it into like Celtics, do all the scheduling, do up some call sheets. I'd make Meg produce because she's better with money. Find the cameras, plan all the shots, rehearse a lot. So if we rehearse a lot, that doesn't cost us money. So when we're shooting, renting equipment, that doesn't cost us as much. I could knock it out in 12 days.
Totally. And not only that, the goal of the group is to get a pizza during the vampire apocalypse because, we're at that part of the apocalypse where things are on the brink of falling apart, but they haven't yet. So there's still the possibility of getting a food delivery. And we get conflict because no four people can agree on what should be on a pizza. The dialogue, as people try to figure out what is the best pizza for the group to get, the final pizza before civilization collapses, the dialogue reveals the innate character flaws and underlying conflicts that have been bubbling underneath through this group for decades.
And
bang, bang, bang.
Do vampires attack in the middle of it, and then we kill them, and then we go back to arguing?
That's right. And then the twist is the pizza delivery guy was a vampire all along. Holy cow.
Oh, mackerel. That sounds amazing. Holy mackerel. Do you know that I wrote a vampire script where...
Of course you did.
Yeah, so I actually have a vampire script that it was going to be turned into a play, and we were going to do a play... long story, but we were gonna start building, and we had done open readings, and we were gonna do castings, and yeah, it kind of fell through. But we had a vampire script ready to go, and then I don't know, man. I moved to Korea. I had to get some stuff going. Went got my master's. I shot a documentary out there. I did a bunch of shooting, and then I just got into the film industry, and I just when you don't know your way, when you don't really have like a mentor, I just started working on sets. I didn't know any better. So I was just making other people's movies. And then eventually I was like, I just need to write. And that's where I'm at now.
Dude, I'm telling you, Vampire Pizza, Act 1, we get introduced to the characters. We're dropped right into the middle. This is where we get our exposition and introduction of the characters out of the way. Act 2, oh snap. What's wrong with Meg? Is she changing? Is she just sick? What's going on? All right. Act 3, the pizza's on its way, but there's also something wrong with Meg. Holy cow. We got to fix everything. Boom.
And then
that's the 3 acts.
I like it. Let's write it. Let's do an audio play for it. Let's write it and then perform it.
Yo, talk to the guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing it first, man. Vampire Pizza, a.k.a. The Bloodening.
I like that. Another person should get bit, and they're like, I should get the choice. This is my last meal. Like, I just get to do blood after this. Like, I should be able to enjoy a sausage and pepper pizza.
Dude, you know that once you turn into a vampire, I can't eat garlic. Oh my God, garlic is my favorite topping.
Oh man.
What do you mean no anchovies? What kind of a jerk doesn't like fish?
Guys, I gotta drink blood after this. Just let me get the pizza I want.
Dude, I drink blood all the time. It's no big deal. Why do you think my skin's so nice? Gasp! Oh yes, I've been a vampire all along. Da da da.
Oh, is that what you were doing? So, when I lived in Korea with Norbert, we'd just be hanging out, and he would just have a gigantic chalice of red liquid, and he said it was hunch punch.
No, actually, I told you it was Chinese whiskey because I knew you had never been to China.
Yeah. So, oh, can I have some? No. I always thought you were rude too. I'm like, man, that dude, man.
Yo, I'm sorry I've derailed everything with my insane vampire story.
And then Norbert, you were always like, hey man, bring a friend over. So I'm like, oh okay, yeah. Like I don't know, but hey, you want to go over to Norbert's? And then I never see him again.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to Steve? He said he had to split.
Oh man. All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more of 30 Days of Night. Welcome back to Vampire Pizza, page 37. Norbert, inside the house, sitting on the couch, bit by vampire, speaking a weird language.
Ah, you son of a bitch. You let him bite me. I told you guys. Don't open the door unless you have the cash in hand, man. You can't just leave the door open during a zombie vampire apocalypse. Oh, Jesus.
Enter Mark Hoffmeyer with a Bayou accent, but he sounds strangely like Norbert.
Well, I told you, Norbert, when you wanted to get that pizza, I said no mushrooms. But you did it anyway. And when I asked you for the exact price, you said it was $14.99. Knowing that no one has 99 cents lying around their apartment. So I had to find the time to get the exact change.
Interior ringing. Bayou Mark picks up the phone, and it's Keith David.
Brr, brr. Yes? Who is this? What? You said you wanted a pizza. I sent the pizza to your house. And then you paid for the damn pizza, but you paid with an exact change. What kind of a man doesn't tip somebody on a pizza for delivering a pizza during a pandemic? What kind of shit is that? Unbelievable. Hey, why don't you get your ass over here and let me talk to you about why you should really tip a man during delivering a pizza? Boop, boop, boop. Suddenly the call is cut off.
In from another room, Sam Rockwell comes in, dancing, and he says,
hey, man, so you guys, you should really pay attention because it seems like the entire block is on fire and the vampires have realized that a place that's getting pizza delivered to it probably has human meat inside. So we should, get out of here.
End scene.
Scene. Oh,
all right, so how about this? For Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook, our page, I want you and I to do a real quick Josh Hartnett movie draft. So you pick a movie, I pick a movie, you pick a movie, I pick a movie. So we'll each pick 5, and we'll do Josh Hartnett movies.
Excellent. It sounds good, man, because I like Hartnett. And the reason why Hartnett's a great actor is because he's in that SimCity movie for 20 seconds, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not forget his role. He was so good as that assassin.
Dude, Hartnett's cool, man. I'm telling you, like a lot of the roles. I guess we'll talk during I liked him a lot. He was he was the villain in that, right? He was Iago.
Yeah,
I dig that. I don't know, 40 Days, 40 Nights. Lucky Number 11. I'm giving away some movies. What's your first pick?
My first pick is definitely going to be what we were just talking about, man. 30 Days a Night.
30 Days a Night.
Lucky number 11 was better than it deserved to be, quite honestly.
All right, Lucky Number. Oh, jeez Louise. Do I want to be Chico? Do I want to be cheap? Do I want to go for the win, or do I want to go for movies I like?
You know what, man? Go for the throat, man. It's capitalism.
Black Hawk Down.
Ah, okay. I choose Hollywood Homicide because that movie is better than you remember it, quite
really?
Honestly. And for no reason, it has 50 Cent, Andre Benjamin. It was written by the guy who wrote White Man Can't Jump. And you get the classic Lolita Davidovich, because that's a great name to say. And finally, Keith David's also in the movie. So how the hell didn't you watch Hollywood Homicide?
I love it. All right, I'm going to do The Faculty. I've covered that on the podcast. That's been a really popular movie, so I'm going to do The Faculty.
I think the reason why The Faculty was popular because of that one song, I'm not sick, but I'm not well.
Oh, yeah.
That song was really popular at the time, man.
Oh, yeah. And remember that movie with Katie Holmes, and they had the song by The Flies? Got you where I want you. It was Nick
Okay,
Stahl. There was
that's
robots.
okay. That is okay. Okay, you need to send me the name of that movie because I would watch that, but I would need a bottle of scotch because Nick Stahl and early Claire Danes. That's clearly some. Oh my God, like we're so beautiful, but we have like problems.
Oh, I'll send you. I'll send you it when we're done.
Nick Stahl. Oh, that guy really fell off. That was too bad.
Bully. His performance in that movie haunts me. What an insane film, man. Larry Clark is a maniac.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's not talk about Larry Clark. You want to keep this
All
PG-13.
right, yeah, sounds good. Kids, geez Louise. All right, who's your next one?
Okay, now here's my problem. I haven't seen actually a lot of Josh Hartnett movies, which is why I keep wondering like what happened to Josh Hartnett. So I will take some time and I will definitely catch a bunch of Josh Hartnett flicks and then we'll be ready to rock and roll with our choice. But I think I want to check out the Black Dahlia because that seems like it would be good.
Okay, so you're picking the Black Dahlia.
Yeah, yeah, it's got Aaron Eckhart, aka the Chin.
The Black Dahlia. You never watch Halloween H2O?
Here's the thing. Growing up, I was a straight Freddy Krueger, Jason dude.
Mm.
Michael Myers never did anything for me. I like the ding 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 ding. You know, I like the song, but Halloween always struck me as kind of boring. You know, Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street, they always had the blood, the nudity, the jokes, the gore.
You've never watched Halloween H2O?
I really haven't. Is that the one with Busta Rhymes?
No, that's her Resurrection. H2O is where. So I did a data post. Michael steals a car, drives from Illinois to California, and he fills up his gas tank. And I figured out how far the Skylark could go based on the miles per gallon. So we had to stop for gas.
Michael Myers?
Yeah, Michael Myers drives cross country in a car that he steals, and he fills up his gas tank. He has to siphon gas. I did all the math, and I figured out how many times he has to use his blinker. And then he goes and he finds Jamie Lee Curtis in California and Laurie Strode, and he goes to hunt her. And her son, like Michelle Williams, is in it. Josh Hartnett is in it, and it ends with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a pretty cool ending scene where it gets wrecked later on, but I like it where she's just like, screw this. So she grabs an axe and she goes looking for Michael Myers, and it's just a cool thing of Laurie Strode going on the offensive to kill her brother, and it gets retconned.
You see, this is what I'm saying, man. You know who doesn't need to drive a car to murder you? Freddy Krueger. You know what I'm saying? You know who doesn't need to siphon gas from a tank? Jason Voorhees, Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, they don't give a damn about AAA and Michelin ratings on the road to murder their sibling. They just do what they got to do, man. I can't with Michael Myers, but I'm going to watch it for our tournament.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, please. No, but we still got to pick, man. You got to pick. I'm going to pick Sin City for my third pick. You got to pick one more.
I thought I picked Sin City.
You did 30 Days a Night, Hollywood Homicide, and Black Dahlia. Okay. I'll give you Sin City. You know what? I'll get rid of Black Dahlia.
No, you take Sin City. You take Sin City.
You got Sin City.
Instead of Sin City, I'm gonna go Lucky Number 11 because I enjoyed that movie, and that's a movie I like, man. For some reason Lucy Liu is in it. The hot girl from Queens.
Yeah, she's great. I'm gonna do Halloween H2O after our long filling up gas discussion. So right now you have 30 Days a Night, Hollywood Homicide, and Lucky Number 11.
Okay. And now I'm just on Wikipedia looking at titles. So I call Wild Horses because for some reason it seems to be a Western with James Franco and Robert Duvall. I think the unintentional comedy for that movie is high, even though it's supposed to be a crime film.
Wild Horses.
That looks really bad. That looks like it's so bad it's good. So I call Wild Horses.
Now, maybe 40 Days a Night would get 40 Days, 40 Nights would get some. Pearl Harbor maybe, but I'm gonna say The Virgin Suicides. I like that movie. Sofia Coppola. I'm gonna go with that. The Virgin Suicides. So right now you have one left.
Okay. Ooh, Virgin Suicides. It's got James Woods and Kirsten Dunst. That would probably be good.
Mm-hmm. Well, so it's Sofia Coppola's first movie. It's good. I went to a Kmart and bought the VHS tape in high school.
Okay. I'm going against type, and I'm going to choose Pearl Harbor because that movie is terrible.
All right, there it is. So you have 30 Days a Night, Hollywood Homicide, Lucky Number 11, Wild Horses, Pearl Harbor. I have Black Hawk Down, The Faculty, Sin City, Halloween H2O, and The Virgin Suicides.
Yeah, it sounds like you win. Crap.
I lose most of these. Megan's won her last 4. She's crushing people. But you know what? We did movies with we did a tournament where we had movies with numbers in their title. I could have done Halloween H2O. I could have picked 40 Days, 40 Nights.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a few more with numbers in their title. I could have picked a few of his films. I could have had almost all George Hartnett picture. I would have lost in the first round.
Okay, let me ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
So that we can chat a little bit more about 30 Days a Night. What the hell is a utilidor?
It's a really, what are they chopping up there? Why do they need, what is that? And why aren't the vampires in there?
I have done the research, my friend, and I know what a utilidor is. I have watched this movie since 2007, and every time they're like, oh, blah, 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 the utilidor, and then you see the machine, the muffin monster, that grinds everything into small paste. A utilidor is not the muffin monster. A utilidor is a utility tunnel, a passage built underground or above ground to carry utility lines such as electricity, steam, water supply pipes, and sewer pipes. That is a utilidor. Did we ever see the utilidor, or did we just see the muffin monster? Or is the muffin monster within the utilidor? That's the only thing that irritates me about this movie.
Well, don't they get into the utilidor to get to the muffin monster? Don't they crawl in that pipe to get to it?
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now there it is. Okay, there it is. Walt Disney World has an incredible utilidor, apparently. They're a part of Disney's backstage area. They allow Disney employees to perform park support operations, such as trash removal, out of the sight of guests. And in Arctic towns, they're above-ground enclosed utility conduits that are used in larger communities in the northern polar region where permafrost does not allow the normal practice of burying water and sewer pipes underground. The more you know.
Hey now. Wow. Dude, this is awesome, man. This is some good. This is some A+ research right here. How happy were you? How happy were you when you did this?
Listen, man, it drove me crazy. I'm like, what the F is a utilidor? Every time I watch this movie, they're always like, the utilidor, the utilidor. It seems like such an important thing. And I'm like, where's the utilidor? And now we know. And like we used to say, knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
You know what's interesting about this movie? There was no out-of-towners there. So sometimes in films you get the out-of-towner with the townies, and then the townies have to explain everything to the out-of-towners.
Right.
But then this one, they're all in the town, so they never go, yeah, let's go to the long pipe that transports things.
Well, riddle me this, Mark Hoffmeyer.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever said to yourself, you know what? I'm going to Alaska on vacation.
Yes.
You know what? Quite honestly, I regret asking that question because you would have said yes. Now that I think about it, type of dude you are. You would have been like, and this is Mark Hoffmeyer, and I'm in Alaska, and look, there's snow, and over there, oh my God, it's a caribou. I'm going to go interview that caribou.
Hey, caribou, how you doing?
Exactly. Hey, caribou, what's it like to be a caribou?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the caribous in The Revenant?
Hey, caribou, do you think that the caribou and the Revenant were lit properly? How was the blocking for the caribou and the Revenant? I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
That was a great answer, caribou. Thank you. I'll be right back. And then the caribou gives me a ride back to the boat.
That's right. Tune in next week when we look at the difference between Alaska snow and New York snow. Why is the New York snow yellow?
I'm going to get swallowed by a whale in the harbor, and I'm going to see how Pinocchio felt. We'll be back. I'm inside the whale, folks.
Alaska. What's the deal with Alaska anyway? I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
Why has the sun not set yet? An investigation.
I'm Mark Hoffmeyer. I got here 2 weeks ago, but now it's like actually 40 years later because the sun never rose. I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
I have lost all time of sense and place.
All time of sense and place, exactly.
I am currently talking into a toothbrush.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Mark, you've been here for 3 days.
What? There's no way. It is not 2064, and the robots have taken over Alaska. Look at that one, transforming from an oil rig into a utilidor.
I'll be right back.
I'm sorry.
I just defeated a transformer.
Once again.
I never thought it'd happen again. After Bolivia.
Okay, and then here's my other thing about this movie. That was a great little. I like how we go off on our tangents, but yeah, you would love Alaska, no matter what happened there. Alaska seems to be falling off into the Pacific Ocean. I'm gonna get on a surfboard.
They love me here.
Megan, catching my swimsuit. I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
Still alive.
Cowabunga!
3 years later, you're in Italy and you're vacationing, and you just see me at a coffee shop with Megan drinking coffee.
That's right. And I lift my glass and I nod to you and just walk away. Exactly, with my newspaper, even though I cannot read Italian.
Did Mark survive the apocalypse in Alaska and the Transformers and the tidal wave?
How did he do that again? This guy's crazy. And then one of the greatest lines of all time, okay, in this movie, because so they're fighting the vampires with shark teeth and non-manicured Lee press-on nails, right?
Yeah.
And you shoot them and they don't fall down. It must be coked up on PCP. Dude, you realize those are two different drugs, right? What are you talking about? You can't be coked up on PCP. You're either on PCP or you're on coke. You could technically do both, but what is the deal? And that is some completely... That guy clearly learned about drugs from the DARE program and Nancy Reagan. It's really funny.
Or maybe he knows too much about it and we don't know.
Listen, they are in Alaska. They're clearly people who are either oil workers or ancillary businesses that the oil workers have allowed to sprout up. So, maybe he is the coke dealer on PCP.
I guess coked up could be just used as a term. You're all jacked up. You're all excited. Like, that dude's acting like he's coked up.
But you are a better writer, so you would say he's jacked up on PCP or he's coked up, like almost on PCP. This guy's, he's coked up. They're like coked up on PCP. And also, PCP, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, you're right. What is the deal with PCP?
That's you in Alaska. Coming up next on Mark Hoffmeyer in Alaska. Coked up on PCP. What's the deal with
I've ran 6 miles. And the
I ran across the ocean like the Flash.
Like Incredibles. The nice thing about coke is you don't go, he's all coked up on cocaine. You can just say he's all coked up.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
You don't go he's drunk on beer. He's drunk.
It is a noun that works as an adjective. That's correct.
I have a question for you. How strong are these vampires? Because they flip an SUV.
Well, for what it's worth, it took about 7 of them to flip over an SUV. So they're stronger than the average bear.
Yeah.
But I would say, yeah, they're strong. But they're not. It doesn't seem like they're that strong. But for what it's worth, Josh Hartnett is able to put his fist through the face of Marlowe.
Oh, it's beautiful. And also, I wish I could see the footage of the first vampire who grabbed onto the back of the truck, because he's skiing on the back of it. He's grabbing on the back, just either being dragged or skiing behind a thing until the other ones catch up.
We call that skitching. When you're wearing inline skates and you grab on the back of a car, it's called skitching. Electronic Arts made an excellent Sega Genesis game about this.
Isn't that a cult classic from the 80s too, skitching?
It's such a dope game. Yeah, and probably people in California were like, dude, I'm going to grab on the back of this car on the 109. Ah!
One time in Alaska, I skitched on a grizzly bear that was charging through the streets.
This is Mark Hoffmeyer. I'm skitching on a grizzly bear. Holy cow, what's that coming out of his face?
And also, how much did you love the scene where Marlowe puts his finger on the record? It's just mean, and it's a good touch when you just start scraping that thing. I loved it.
Listen, Marlowe is a sadist, but he likes his German leaders, So he absolutely had to listen to while his girlfriend is drinking the blood of the innocent to his left. It was an amazing scene, absolutely. And then they were,
oh man, how much does Marlowe hate Eben?
Marlowe hates Eben because Eben stands for everything that is pure and just, And Marlowe, he points out, the girl, please help me, God. He's like, he makes a point to stop, look around up in the air and be like, no, God. Yeah. It's the only time he speaks English. It just shows you what a depraved individual he is. He's the guy who goes on the internet to troll Christians like, oh, did you notice that this part of the Bible actually says you shouldn't eat shrimp and shellfish, but you photographed yourself at a lobster party? Ha! You're not a Christian. He's that guy. You know,
he's an absolutist where it looks like his, I don't know, partner is burnt. He's like, what's broke must be stay broken.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He sees that they got cocky. But man, does he hate or respect Eben? Because at the end he says the one who fights. Do you think that, the guy's pure evil and he's a sadist, but do you think there's a little bit of, I hate that guy.
Well, you get a bit of that Thanos, the laws of nature, survival of the fittest, because those type of sociopaths always feel that they have some kind of quote unquote code, So if you can defeat me in Mortal Kombat, then you deserve to be the leader. Yeah, I feel like that's where that went.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I kind of, and I like the one who fights. I like that the fight happened like that, and I don't know. Danny Houston, he was the first choice for the role, and they went to a voice coach in New Zealand, and they actually sort of figured out the voices and kind of all that. No, I want to get your thought on one thing. In this movie, you do a great job establishing the characters. Then you have the initial attack, and then you have the survival mode. But then it cuts to day 18, and these people are just sitting in this balcony. Do you think there's a little bit of sludge? Not sludge. Do you think it's do you think instead of an hour and 53 minutes, this could be an hour and 48 minutes? Do you think the stuff where they were wandering around the town is a little dragged out? Does it feel like 30 days to you?
No, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Niles, the writer of the original comic, he was clearly going for Night of the Living Dead here, and that kind of thing. Actually, that's kind of the low point of the movie because, there is we do get kind of slightly fleshed out characters, but they're not that deep where you want to sit and listen to all of them talk. So they take that time to give you a little bit more window into why Eben and Stella, they're not together anymore. That's where you get the whole, oh man, imagine having kids at this moment. You get a dude who let the oil spill all over the street. He's still very individualism guy. He wants to just leave because anything can be killed. I can kill anything. You get Alzheimer's dad being Alzheimer's dad, setting up that, okay, this guy's clearly going to leave and screw up everything. So yeah, it kind of flattens out there, but it's good. It's good because the actors, they do what they can with the material that they're given. So it's still a good scene.
And also it's a $30 million budget movie. You gotta have a bottle episode. Every TV show movie, you gotta have downtime. You can't run. You can't be, you need scenes where there's no fake snow. You need scenes on a studio. You gotta just be able to shoot. So I guess as far as the narrative goes, it's a budget saver. And then you also get and you also learn that these vampires play tricks. They send people out, and if that trick doesn't work, they kill them. There's problems that will arise. There's power struggles. There's, like you said, the father with Alzheimer's. And then it gets pretty heart-wrenching. I guess it's on the nose, but I like the speech. The guy gets scratched, and he says, I want to see my family. I can't live forever. And then Eben kills him. And then you get to... I love that speech. And then you get to Manu Bennett, who killed his family. And he's like,
my God.
And Manu Bennett, he was in the Spartacus show with Rob Tappert. He was just that, and he was also the big ogre in the Hobbit franchise. And on set, he begged to not be the character who killed his family. And Tappert's like, no, you're killing your family. But
it's dark.
So you have a guy who doesn't want to live forever because he won't be with his family. Then you have another guy who kills his family, and then at the end, Hartnett sacrifices himself to save his wife and the little girl.
Right.
It's a real, and then you also have the vampire family when Marlowe loses, his partner and says what can be broken must be broken. He's hurt. He's pissed. They're a unit. So it's a pretty interesting
dude. He's a sociopathic vampire sadist. He mourns the loss of that chick to the point where he wipes her blood in his hair, man, as some kind of excellent new gel to work in the snow. It's just sick.
I never saw that part. That's awesome.
Man. It's dark. It's dark, man. He's a dark guy. He sits with her for a while, and then he's like, okay, let's burn the place down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea that they're just gonna. But I'm sure Forensic could see that an oil pipeline was punched in all over the place.
Well, you know what? He made a point of saying, we have spent a long time convincing these people that we are just myth.
Yeah.
Let's burn it down. And you're like, you know what? Holy cow. That makes a lot of sense. It's so much better than True Blood, which really disappointed me. True Blood.
Yeah.
I wanted more of the vampire politics, but it was just, I never read those books, so I didn't know that Suke was supposed to be a psychic. That just irritated me.
Yeah, because the first episode she wraps that thing around the person's neck, and you're like, well, there's something more to it than that.
Yeah. And this is why, being starved for good vampire entertainment, I latched on to this movie, and I still watch it a couple times a year. It's just great.
And then what I thought was interesting, too, is, I guess talking about cool vampire stuff, when at the end when Hartnett loads himself up with the vampire blood, he talked to a friend he had a friend who was a former addict, and his friend was so strung out one time he injected bleach into his body.
Jesus.
And he said that it paralyzed him. So when you watch this and he puts the blood into himself, he just mimicked that, and his body just freezes up. And then I like his brother saying no one's it's kind of interesting how his brother stepped up, chopped the head off that girl, and then he at the end said no one's touching him, no one's doing this, because they knew from that one guy that you could be transformed and still be able to fight. So I thought that was a pretty cool. Brother started stepping up, I guess. He kind of started.
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, he kind of learned from that what they said earlier, and I don't know, I dig it, man. I dig this movie. So, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Man, listen. If you go to Alaska, make sure you get on that plane before the damn sun goes down.
And if not, hang with me.
Hang with Mark Hoffmeyer. Exactly. Hey, this town's gonna be in darkness for 30 days of night. Question: how many games of Risk can I win?
Watch this combo.
Holy cow, I rolled a 12, and yet I was still unable to keep Tunisia. Bummer.
The sun comes up, and there's just a bunch of bruised vampires walking around the streets. They get so... I didn't want to kill any of them.
No. The vampires weren't going to kill me, but then I was like, I got rum. I got raw hamburger. And then they were like, cool.
I learned so much. They've been around since 4000 BC. That's the earliest. No, all right, cool. This was fun, man. Thank you for joining me.
No problem, man.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Norbert Morvan, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.
As they say in Vampire,
Hamburger.